Hello Weekend Crafter! Welcome back to the Craft Time Studio. I'm Ange and I love making crafts. My topic for today is a little bit controversial. I still use Sculpey III. I know a lot of clay makers, especially those who work with jewelry, don't use Sculpey III anymore because actually it breaks very easily. But I have 3 reasons why I still work with this. Number 1, I often get gifted with Sculpey III clay. My friends and relatives obviously know that I work with clay and they love giving me gifts. But they don't really ask me what brand I use or what kind I use. So I often end up with blocks of Sculpey III. Number 2, well, because of the shortage, I've been very, conscious of how much clay I have, and it's been very hard for me to order in this country. And so, I've really had to be very creative in conserving my clay. And number 3, I actually do love the colors of Sculpey III, and I love mixing them with my other brands to make custom colors. So those are the reasons why I use Sculpey III. But I do realize that they break very easily, which is why for this tutorial, I made, something of a primer of how maybe you can use your Sculpey III, even though there are some limitations to it. So if you're interested to learn what I make with Sculpey III, do stick around. And if you happen to like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Craft Time Studio. And click on that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's begin.
Why is it that I won't recommend Sculpey III when making earrings? Let's make an experiment. So I have this Sculpey III and I roll it out into different thickness. The first one I rolled out into the number 1 setting, and I punched a teardrop shape. The second one into the number 2 setting. The third one into the number 3 setting. And then I moved on into the number 4 setting. Do take note that when I do make earrings, I normally roll it out into the number 3 or 4 setting. Then for good measure, I decided to do a thick piece. I placed one piece that I rolled into the number 1 setting and one piece into the number 2 setting. And then I stacked one piece on top of the other. Now, let's bake these pieces. Once all the pieces have cooled down, I do a simple bend test. Let's start with the thinnest one first. You can see it breaks without any effort. Moving on, let's do the one using the number 3 setting. I had a little bit of the difficulty in breaking the one rolled out into the number 2 setting, so I was thinking that I was making progress. But I was surprised because the one that I rolled out into the number 1 setting broke fairly easily. Finally, we go to the stacked piece. As you can tell, I was not able to break this. This goes to show that Sculpey III can be used for as long as you are using it for thicker pieces. Moving on, I want to share with you 3 of the most common crafts that I make with Sculpey III. The first one is beads. Obviously, beads can be pretty thick, so I think it's a perfect craft to make with Sculpey III. First, condition your clay. Next, roll out a small ball. And then I filled the bead with flowers. I have a lot of flower silicone molds, and so I decided to fill the bead with different kinds of flowers. I used a satin slice to remove any excess clay and to get a clean shape. I'm sharing a link above on how to use silicone molds in case you're curious. Once the bead is full of flowers, it's time to bake it. I actually use this to be a spacer for my shell bracelet. The next project that I usually make using Sculpey III is a pop socket. I'm not scared to use Sculpey III on this because a pop socket has a sturdy base, and so the Sculpey III will never have to bend. I rolled out the clay into the number 2 setting and traced the shape of the blank pop socket. Then I just decorated my piece however way I liked. In this case, I wanted to press down the word "hi" on the pop socket. And then I decorated the background with a sprinkling of hearts and flowers. Once this is baked, I scrub up the pop socket and then I attach the baked piece with some glue. Finally, one of the most common things that I make with Sculpey III are coasters. In this situation though, I got 2 parts Primo translucent and 1 part Sculpey III white and mix them together. I'm doing a full stone technique, and so once I rolled out my slab, I split it in half. I placed a few drops of alcohol ink on each of the parts, one in magical green color and the other in lavender dream. And then I chopped this clay up and coated each batch with mica. I made sure that the pieces were evenly coated. I got my liquid Sculpey to stick these pieces together and then I pressed them down to make a block. rolled out my Sculpey Primo in translucent. Note that this is Primo. Basically, the Sculpey III is only used as a topper. And then I make thin slices of the block.
Now I fill my slab with this. By the way, I love the colors on this. I find full stone so beautiful, but I don't do this technique so often because it is just too much work cleaning up my board and especially my fingers. Comment down below if you feel the same working with alcohol inks and mica.
I have to carefully roll this out into a thinner slab. And then I just check how to make the slab fit on my coaster. I absolutely loved how this one turned out. It's my favorite project for this tutorial. What about you? Which was your favorite project? I hope that this video inspired you to conserve your Sculpey III and not throw it out. If you like this and want to see more, please do like and comment down below and click on the notification bell so that you get alerted when I have new video coming out. Have a crafty weekend. Bye!